Ronaldo and Bruno's penalty situation. Why did Bruno take the penalty? 22 penalties converted out of 23. That's probably why he took it, right, Simon?
Of course. I don't understand why this would even be a question. It's only a question for idiot sections of the media that want to create a headline on the back of Ronaldo being the person that everyone's spending all their time pouring as much hysteria into as they possibly can. Of course Bruno Fernandes takes the penalty. Why wouldn't he take the penalty? How can there even be possibly a consideration just because he's missed one penalty that now suddenly there is a debate as to whether Ronaldo takes the penalty? The guy scores a penalty every time he steps up.
I think the debate at every club, and it was the same when I was trying to take penalties at different clubs. If somebody takes penalties and they're good at them, they have that. It's like having the shirt. You're playing well in the team, you got the shirt. As soon as you miss one, maybe two, someone else going, hold on, maybe come off them now. And that's the way it should be, because it keeps you on your toes. You can't take free kicks every week if you don't score any. But Fernandes' record's great. Now, if you're asking me, Man United are playing Man City or Liverpool, and in the last minute of the game they get a penalty, who would I want taking it? Ronaldo. Ahead of Fernandes all day, every day, and twice on Sundays.
Ronaldo obviously didn't even comment about it, but Fernandes did take to Instagram and write...
Fernandes has got a 96% hit rate on penalties.
He hasn't taken penalties in the same cauldrons as Ronaldo has all over his career in Champions League finals.
But every time you step up and take a penalty for a club like Manchester United, there's an expectation you're going to score it.
But it's not comparable.
And if we look down, if we look down the 23 penalties that he's taken over the 2 years that he's been there, dollars for donuts, there'll be a penalty in a big pressurised environment where he's needed to score. So why is that any different? He's got a 96%.
And the body of work is actually bigger than that. 42 successful kicks out of 45 before this weekend.
So what are you going on about? Why'd you give it to Ronaldo just because he strolled through the door?
I just told you why.
The guy scored 96%
Ronaldo
of his
has
penalties.
scored penalties in World Cup finals, European Championships, Champions League finals.
You just said that this team shouldn't be frightened of Aston Villa, should have no fear for them whatsoever. Now you're saying it's a big cauldron.
What?
Hang on a second. Man United's perspective is that they are Man United. They've got all that goes with it. And now you're suggesting that it's too big an atmosphere for Fernandes to score a penalty in.
I said, if they
get
a last-minute penalty against Manchester City or Liverpool, not Aston Villa, I've got no problem with Fernandes taking it. I'm in a big game. Who do I want taking it? Would I be happy with Fernandes taking it?
But we're talking about this penalty.
But if you've got Ronaldo there, would I want Ronaldo taking it?
Against Aston Villa?
I was happy with Fernandes.
So what are you going on about then?
Because he's missed one now, and you've got Ronaldo there, I'd be thinking, depending on the circumstances, the next game, I'd say to Ronaldo...
How would you feel then, if you were the penalty taker of note? And
sometimes you've got to know your place.
Well, I agree with that, absolutely.
Why do you think that Bruno Fernandes abandoned his hop, skip and jump technique, which has served him so well?
Well, I hate that anyway. It's a nonsense way of taking a penalty as far as I'm concerned. He doesn't always do it
Except
anymore.
he's very successful. In his instance.
Yeah, not in Jorginho's though. So but I think the keeper got in his head a bit. I'd love to know what he said to him. I think the keeper got in his head.
Well, didn't the keeper turn around and say to Ronaldo,
you should be having this penalty.
You take it.
I wasn't on the pitch, Sam, to be honest. Yeah. But I don't know exactly what was said, because you get the hands over the mouth a lot and all this business.
He was pointing at him.
Yeah, but he's obviously got in his head somehow, because I've never seen Fernandes trying to whack one of you.
No.
He normally places them in the corners, so something in his head... The only thing I would say is, someone said to me many, many years ago, if you ever take a penalty in the last minute of a game, always put it down the middle. Because the keeper in the last minute will always try and be a hero and dive. Not many keepers stand in the middle anyway.
He did put down the middle of Rose Ed.
No, but what I'm saying
is... Manchester Ship Canal now.
Maybe he was thinking, I'll just smash it down the middle.
Yeah.
And just let back.
Okay,
it can happen.
What did you make of the apology? The essay on Instagram, which took up a whole page of my phone. I was scrolling down, still trying to read it, where Fernandes said, "I took the responsibility today given to me since the day I joined the United, and I will do so again without fear or dread whenever called upon. I apologise."
What should I make of that?
He says, I think he talked about criticism is part of the game, and I accept that criticism.
He did not need to justify himself.
Oh my God, it was so melodramatic. I thought it was a bit over the top, and I thought, oh guys,
but isn't that where we're going now? I mean, you were talking earlier about how Southampton have won 4 games and Hasenhüttl's cried. It's this mentality, isn't it? You got Rory crying. You got Rory crying. Rory crying yesterday after the goal.
Maybe we need to be more in touch with our emotions.
I am.
What are you putting me in?
I'm just talking about all of us, because
my
we're all
disgust
talking
at
about
times is not hidden.
Your what?
My disgust at things at times is not hidden. My emotions for those sort of things. And
I'm just putting it out there, Sam. You don't put me under your umbrella, mate.
The problem with Manchester United has been said by Simon for months, says Gary. Businessman of the Galaxy, Daniel Levy, in his own head, the longest serving chairman in the Premier League and therefore the biggest failure. Start buying quality players, 300k a week, or get out. The kids aren't good enough. Our seniors aren't good enough either. 0871 722 3344 is the number to call. We should probably touch a little bit more on Aston Villa and just quickly say that their recruitment very good. They look a bit more of a balanced team now, actually, don't they? Because they've got... I mean, I think Target and Cash, the wing-backs, doing brilliant. I mean, Cash is going to end up playing for Poland, I think.
Which is strange because he's good. Well, saying that it is not when we've got amazing
got 7 right
backs.
Did you know? Someone just sent me a text message and I'm not validated it. The success rate Ronaldo has in his career for penalties is 84%.
But that's not my point.
Well, it is your point. You've got one guy that's got 96% penalty success rate. Another guy, because he's in your head as a star player that plays in big games, has got less of a penalty success rate.
Okay.
So you're making them up as they go along.
So you agree with that philosophy?
Which philosophy is that? Get the guy that. Well,
do you or not?
In the end,
answer the question.
Yes, I do to some
extent.
Well,
if you do, then you vindicate Gareth Southgate for what he did in the European.
Which is what? Give a guy a penalty that's never taken one in professional football.
He gave the guys the penalty who scored the most in the training.
No. Don't be so bloody silly.
You're talking about percentages.
Hold on. That's not comparing like for like. You can't replicate what happens on a training ground on a match day, and neither would you advocate that you could.
So you can't. I'm not comparing replicate a European Championship final penalty shootout. Whatever you do, you'd never. You can't replicate.
Who would take that as an argument? Who would say someone does it on a training ground and advance that as what happens on a match day? Danny, you're better than that, and I know you are.
I didn't. I asked
you're
you
trying to make a point, and it's not a good one. The fact of the matter is, over a period of time, if you've got enough statistics, you can make statistics do whatever you want. But if there's a body of time to say, right, here's a real proper analysis over his career, 84% Ronaldo, 96% Fernandes, done, finished, argument closed.
But Fernandes hasn't taken them in the biggest games on the planet.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.